What the hell did I just watch? Haunting of the Innocent is the worst movie I have ever seen, to date. And I've seen this. And this. And even this. I'm a vegetarian. Safe to say I'm a glutton for punishment, but at least all these things are kind of funny in a sense, and at least make sense in their plots. I have no idea how to review this movie because I'm not so sure I even know what the hell is happening. I mean, read the title. Haunting of the Innocent. Could there be a more generic title than that? Then look at the poster. From the poster, what do you suppose this movie's about? You guessed it, Vikings. The movie opens and let's see how quickly it makes me think of a better movie I could be watching. Damn, 1 second in. How long does it take me to not understand what the hell's happening? Well, I'll be damned. How many cityscapes shots does it take to open a movie? Okay, but the movie's going to start any minute now. Any minute. Jeez, will something happen around? So I can't really show the rape scene for obvious reasons, but yeah, that's what happens. Then we meet her husband, who is your typical office sleaze who flirts with his female coworkers. Before this turns into a graphic scene, his phone rings and he races off to meet his wife in the hospital. The two have a loving embrace as the screen fades to black and what the hell is that? You see that, right? Do you think this movie is Fight Club, or is the editor so bored with this movie that he's hiding jump scares in the transition frames? Then we come across Grandpa, who always sounds like he's narrating a nature documentary for some reason.
I'll show you things few have seen. Things never imagined in a horrible land like Los Angeles. Did you know that we're the last in a long line of a proud Viking family?
Hopefully returning to this pleasant town will return the family to higher spirits. Our main character takes his son to the diner and, quick, someone has to help Dr. Phil, he must have read the script. Back at the house now, Tom is inclined to check out this odd tree. But what could possibly be inside?
What is that? What is that? What is it? Oh, no,
Ravens. Ravens.
Speaking of the raven, it's pretty obnoxious when you're aware that the ravens are everywhere. I didn't really notice it at first because ravens are just expected as a cheap horror gimmick, but I guess you were going for some foreshadowing imagery. At least you tried. Come to think of it, the entire second act is an absolute boring mess. I've never seen a horror movie with such a mundane tone. With awkward pacing and a corny script, you'd swear this was a sitcom.
damn it!
You scared me.
Clearly.
I was dreaming. I didn't know where I was. sorry.
Just a face. How are those chicken toes?
Fingers, Dad.
We got some catching up to do, don't we, Ulfane?
Sadly, the script is the least of this film's worries. I have been harsh on films before, but usually can concede that some element of production is a worthy effort. There is not a single element of this film that isn't painful to watch. The cinematography is gross. Maybe you've noticed it, but why is every single window blown out? I understand this is a common problem, and I understand that sometimes it happens, but did they never watch any dailies and think, maybe it wouldn't hurt to adjust the camera settings, or try to lit the interiors more, or not film everything at 2 p.m? Anything? The score is dull and repetitive with no personality to it. I think it sounds worse than most stock music. I honestly don't think there's one positive thing to say about any aspect of production, as they all display some degree of incompetence. I feel bad for the couple of actors who I at least perceive are trying to salvage it. So remember how I mentioned that this movie is somehow about Vikings? Well, let's get into that.
Deadliest. It's a duel to the death to decide who is the Deadliest Warrior.
This goes on for a solid 3 minutes. So basically, the Viking fights the witch, she puts a curse on him, and they both die. Why are they fighting? I don't know. The scene doesn't really do much for giving exposition, but at least we get an excuse to have some cool action between these two people LARPing. Yeah. Okay, that's enough about Vikings. Brenda has to cut short talking with the mysterious woman, as it seems like it's that time of the month, and it appears to be growing late. Can't you tell by how dark it is outside the window? Guess it's time to go home. Grandpa and the kid look at a scrapbook in which the boy recognizes the witch lady despite him never meeting her. Ooh, spooky. I'm only bringing up this scene so I can bring up this line.
Now this is the day we moved to Thornby. And you know who this is?
Who?
That's your mother.
She was a baby?
Yes, she was.
So as his child is starting to worry about the state of his parents' marriage, it's time for our man Tom to assure his wife that they can get through this rough patch. Oh, and he has a master plan indeed. Ask her what is wrong. Tell her that you love her. Then I rape her. No. I'm not showing it, and I do think it's kind of disgusting how this movie handles such a severe subject matter, and using it twice now to be the only sort of consequence-bearing action in this movie. This project has a degree of immaturity to it that you're really surprised this is a bunch of high schoolers behind it. This scene is the absolute worst, but it's the gift that keeps on giving. So during the rape scene, this movie decides it would be really cool if Tom would also be growling during it. I shit you not.
I'm the hairless author, and I must eat chickens!
So that scene was pretty distasteful, if I do say so myself, but at least it can't get any worse.
Fuck you! Brenda, I was raped! A man came up from behind me, grabbed my throat, threw me on the ground, and fucked me! And you quite know the sickest. It was a part of the whole rape, Tom. Do you? As he was spreading my legs, I swear I got wet. I didn't just take it. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I came twice as he violated me. I've never felt so good and so bad at the same time. Do you have any idea what that must feel like?
That'll be sick once a year. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh no. Having a scene in which a woman actually enjoyed getting raped? Come on, this is pretty obvious altogether now.
You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that.
I can't show what happens next either, because this movie decides to become porn for the next 2 minutes. Basically, Tom fantasizes about having sex with the witch lady, and Brenda wakes up naked next to the witch lady. Okay, I know I'm skipping a few scenes here and there, but I leave you an out-of-context monologue to help you fill in the blanks.
You can't feed me. Oh, really? What's this?
Tom heads back to San Francisco to do what I do when my life has gone to shit. Just ignore it. I can't show what happens because the film decides to be porn again. Okay, so I know that comment sounds like a joke, but when I was trying to dig for any interviews or behind the scenes information on this film, I, accidentally ended up on a pornographic website that had uploaded the scenes of this film. At least this film completed its character arc of Tom deciding to go back and put his family before secondary thoughts, as Tom decides to make a truce with Grandpa as his son is in danger.
Maybe I will have a sacrifice. Bullshit, brother. Wait! I can help.
As he arrives, it seems he's too late to stop the evil from ensuing. And I hope you're prepared for the greatest plot twist of all time. And that about wraps up this movie. We have a creepy montage of everyone menacingly mugging at the camera, drinking blood, and of course, an appearance by everyone's favorite character, Squawk. Nevermore. I feel sorry for anyone who dedicated their time watching this review, let alone anyone who actually watched the movie. I tried to figure out more about this abomination, but all I could come up with was this fun photo shoot they decided to bother doing for reasons. You can find it on the director's YouTube account. Maybe send a subscribe his way, as he currently has more city shots in the opening credits of his movie than YouTube subscribers. I could also use some if you know what I mean. There's not much else to say. I opened this review with 3 of the worst movies I've ever seen, and I think this is the least joy I've felt watching any of these crappy films. I wouldn't recommend Haunting of the Innocent to my worst enemy, but I guess if you're someone who enjoys watching pornos for the plot and horrendous production quality, this might be for you. It's now available on Amazon for those bold enough to watch such a disaster. Thanks to anyone who endured this awful movie with me, I truly appreciate it, and as always, I'll see you at the movies.